Welcome to the June edition of Games I Want to Play, a monthly series where I review the releases for the coming month and tell you which ones I think are good or interesting to pick up. Last month, we had Team Sonic Racing place highly enough among its fans, and the newest Total War game launch a successful campaign into yet another episode of history. The mid-year slowdown of releases continue through June, but this also gives us a chance to focus more on unique titles and indie releases. While there isn't a lot of releases on the list, there's definitely a little something for everyone. BattleTech Urban Warfare. BattleTech is actually an already released game, and Urban Warfare is more of an expansion to that. Anyway, straight from the title and a bit of the trailer, it's easy to catch on to what this game is about. Giant mechs, urban combat, strong strategic elements. This strongly reminds me of two games, Mech Warrior and Front Mission. I love both series, so this is a very interesting title for me. The trailer makes it look like it's some sort of clunky looking action game at first, but it's soon revealed that it's really a turn-based strategy title. It looks like it carries some inspiration from much older games considering the degree of customization it allows you to explore. There also seems to be a line of sight mechanic going on, which you normally see with tabletop games like Warhammer. Honestly, the bigger surprise for me is the fact that I haven't heard of this game yet, and this is the first time I've seen it. Considering how it plans to revisit old games that I certainly miss seeing in the scene, it certainly has caught my attention. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Koji Igarashi. It's been 5 years, and finally the man is ready to release it. Bloodstained is probably the highest profile Kickstarter yet, which was really just an advertisement for investors, and he was pretty transparent about it, so I don't have any issues with that. Also, I was able to speak with him personally with a few concerns, especially when he said that he would release it on Switch, which wasn't out yet at that time. His bottom line was that he would want to keep his promises to his audience, and at that point, I wanted to believe him, and so far he's been true to his word, despite the many difficulties his situation presented. 5 years is definitely a long development cycle, but I think it's understandable considering the several platforms he planned to release on. He even went out to show how he's overhauled the graphics after many commented that it didn't look very good, an action I'd call ballsy and commendable. Anyway, getting to the game itself. Bloodstained is said to be the spiritual successor of the Castlevania series. The demo that featured one stage and how it would function definitely felt closest to Symphony of the Night, which is my personal favorite. Exploring, slashing, level ups, spells, and even cool bosses. This game seems to be set on making a lot of its fans happy. The whole project being guided by the capable hands of a leader who has proved himself worthy of the job every step of the way. This one completely wins my vote of confidence. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. When everyone was into Mario Kart, I was completely immersed in Crash Team Racing. Crash Team Racing was the first PS1 racing game I took seriously. Nobody, and I mean nobody, in my family or relatives or friends could beat my Coco and Sewer Speedway. I was never beaten, and maybe I just didn't play with others enough. I don't know. Unfortunately, I also wasn't very into the latter releases or the ones that followed. Just not as fun for me. CTR Nitro Fueled is a complete remake of the first racing game Crash and his buddies were featured in. Seeing a from the ground up remake of this game that I know pretty much inside and out gets me giddy inside, I'll admit that. They also appear to add little niceties like custom colors for your kart and such. Online play wouldn't really surprise me right now. They also probably plan to add the content from their latter games later on. I truly consider the first CTR as one of the masterpieces Naughty Dog came up with during that time, and seeing it back really makes me happy. Judgment. Sega's Yakuza team is at it again, this time with a spin-off using their usual formula. Instead of being on the borderline of what's legal while being a Yakuza, you play the role of a guy that runs his own detective agency. A lot of the game still feels familiar. The trailers have shown that you are still moving around in an open world with the occasional thug beatdown that looks like it belongs in an action movie. However, there's a lot of new gameplay that's focused around investigation, infiltration, and interrogation of people. The fresh coat of paint shown through the newly detailed graphics makes this game that much more enticing to play. Add on to that the new and inventive ways you play through the game to advance your progress through the story pretty much seals the deal for me regarding if this game is worthy of any attention at all. If you like the idea of a much denser version of GTA's open world, and you're a fan of Phoenix Wright and the like, I'm pretty sure this one's right up your alley. Samurai Shodown. The year has just been giving us treat after treat for fighting games. Samurai Shodown is one of the more unique fighters back then that gave a lot of focus on playing in a more disciplined manner, where receiving punish hits was very costly for your health. If you were on the receiving end, you don't want to be there. Anyway, it's back. Swords, spears, slashing, busting, and a whole lot of style. Samurai Shodown has gone with a visual style that feels similar to Street Fighter 4, with that ink painting like feel, which I think really suits this title in particular very well. We have a lot of the original cast coming back, which is one thing, but we also have a good amount of new characters being available as well. This seems to be the most perfect metaphor for how fighting games are lately, trying to revitalize the old gamers while adding in something new to reel in the newer audience. We're not entirely sure how the mechanics will play out as of this date, but I don't think Samurai Shodown was that complicated to begin with. While they're getting the characters that are definitely popular in the franchise, I hope they get to introduce their stranger and more unique characters soon. Or maybe even do what that Tekken game does and just make some crazy crossovers. I mean, imagine getting Nightmare from Soul Calibur in that game. Sounds like a perfect match, pretty crazy, and I think that would be an amazing addition. Anyway, this game, I'm looking forward to it. So, that's it for our preview of games coming out this June. Those aren't the only games releasing, of course, so I can't really cover all of them, but I can give you a list, and here it is. That's what else is coming out for the month. Are there any other games that you'd like us to talk about? Why don't you just go ahead and tell us, and maybe we'll look into it. We'd love to hear your feedback, especially if it's something that really engages with us. If you like this video, do drop us a like, as that helps us a lot. YouTube makes a big deal out of engagements, comments, likes, shares. Big deal, really helps our content to get easier to find, and of course we appreciate that if it ever happens. If you'd like to check out our other stuff, you could see this YouTube channel for other videos. If you want to see our other articles, you can check us out at reimarufiles.com. That's where everything goes. And you can also catch us on the usual social media shown here. We do post some light event coverage and usually some memes if I feel like it, just jokes. You can also come talk to us. We do like hearing from people that check us out. That's really just a nice thing to have. Anyway, that's it for now. Until next time, stay classy.